I'm Shaheen Nilofer and I work for Oxfam GB in India. I'm the Country Humanitarian Program Manager. Presently, Oxfam has a disaster risk reduction program in 8 states across the country. As we speak, presently in the IDRC Davos 2008 conference, India is being underwater. Some of the states in India, Bihar, Assam, is presently under major flooding. It seems like they never recovered from the last year's floods. Hundreds and thousands of people are again been dislocated and uprooted. As we debate about climate change adaptation within the context of disaster risk reduction, some of the challenges that we currently face is risk reduction is all about, essentially about making development choices, right? The fact that the important that there is a community ownership, the issues about communities being involved, empowering community institutions are some of the debates that seems to be missing in the present conference. Adaptation is important, but the fact that the onus of adaptations is not necessarily should be confined to the people who are facing disasters recurrently every passing year. We need to talk about accountability and where the accountability lies. We need to talk about poor people living in fragile conditions in low-lying areas, have little or poor access to resources like health, education, water and sanitation. We should be aware of the fact that poor people have access to basic services. They should have access to the social safety nets programs of the government. How do we ensure that there is a far more greater synergy and harmonization happening between government poverty reduction programs and the risk reduction strategies? That is central to me to the risk reduction framework that we needed to be talking a lot more about. Private-public partnership is important. We need to see that how the private partners, the newer emerging actors from the private sectors have an increasingly significant, important role to play in response, but they should also come forward and play a risk reduction, a role in risk reduction strategies, essentially about supporting poorer, remote, cut-off villages in India or any other developing countries. They need to support and come forward with effective funding commitments to things like that contingency stockpile, so that when there is a major floods and it takes time because of the logistical constraints, this contingency stockpile stored in the remote areas becomes handy and effective. The governments, the respective national and state governments should have an effective district planning which should be in harmony with the disaster risk reduction strategy. I would conclude here saying that no matter what we discuss and debate about getting the semantics right on adaptation and mitigation, it is essentially about getting the development choices right. Thank you.